So I must have had the cover of. Levi probably got bad seal. Yeah, somewhere.
It's some girls that's never getting paid.
I'm not even
I haven't even think twice about it.
I'm not even paid. That's what it is. My brother Harley, I got them out of the way.
I just even my buddies that went with us, and they're like German. I don't know how many
you good?
What's that? If you think they're pushing more days, it's time to get their change.
Oh, he getting the angles. Getting the angles. Yeah, just put it in a group chat. Looks like we all out here. It was a good ride. Appreciate it, Ty. Appreciate it. Yeah. Appreciate it. Is this joint on? Thank you, Logic. Appreciate it. People be hating on the selfie stick. This is old school. It's definitely old school. It definitely come through. It definitely come through.
It's sassy when you gotta pull it out.
I know, that's all.
You see, you got like sassy.
I mean. What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Bike Tyson, and you're now tuned in to Bike Tyson Life Cycles. And today's life cycle is ride fast, die last, because that's the fuck was going on with this goddamn ride. Shout out to several people that joined this ride. I want to give a shout out to Logic and Street Envy, Ty with Gun Runners, NK and Dada for with the Young Guns, and Smoke and his crew with Street Soldiers. And you always gotta give a shout out to the IKEA group. I mean, listen, we non-denominational out this bitch, but fuck it. We was there too. And anybody that's in the DMV area, I think most of them know about the IKEA uh Wednesday ride out group ride every week. Yeah, it gets wild, but I always look at it as non-denominational because you got a mixture of skill riders, stunt riders, slow riders, cruiser riders, all that good shit, newbies. So that's just what it is. And just so happened on this group ride, I had some newbies with me, so I couldn't have fun. So it was like a mixture. Like I can pick and choose my spots, and then was times where I just had to fall back. So 9 times out of 10 in this video, you're gonna see just me speeding up to the front just to get some good footage. But for the most part, I was in the back because I had newbies with me. And again, you got to crawl before you walk. And they came out, and I always look at it like this: ride your own ride. That's one thing. And, kind of be safe. You don't have to keep up with these skilled riders and seasoned riders and speed racers, because if it's not your type of riding, bruh, I don't want you banging out, or I don't want you, getting getting pulled over by cops and all that good stuff. So, with that being said, the bulk of us were seasoned and skilled riders. But in my case, I had to play the guinea pig because I had 3 newbies with me, basically, who never did this type of ride before. So when they seen it, they was just thinking, okay, Backroads to Delaware, Dewey Beach. All right, that seemed like fun. Little did they know this was basically a track meet, for the most part. But they fucked around and found out real quick that this wasn't the type of ride that you thought it was going to be. So with that being said, me and my boy Bobby, who's from the IKEA group, we had three newbies, and we kind of had to strategize. All right, how the fuck we gonna make this work, right? So what we decided on doing was, all right, we gonna have to take turns. So sometimes I'll just be the tail end and making sure that the newbies are in front of us and making sure they trying to keep as fast paced as they can and keeping them in eye view and making sure they don't crash or anything happens. So for safety purposes, we had to strategize like that. So what you'll see in the video is like, all right, I'll speed up, get good footage, have a little bit of fun on a straightaway or something like that, and then I'll just fall right back to the tail end just to make sure everybody is pretty much staying within eye view of the front, which is Ty and them who was getting it. So Ty, Chris, Torin, Logic, NK, Dada, Smoke, all of them, they were moving, and I was like, "Fuck, I want to have some fun," but I was just like, "Shit." I had to pick and choose my spots. So that's just what it was. So with that being said, I mean, out for the most part, like like I said earlier, is you'll see me in the back. So I couldn't get as much good footage as I wanted to on the back roads and the twisties because tying them, they was fucking moving. I was like, the whole ride was 100 plus basically. So, when you got newbies with you, excuse me, when you got newbies with you, it's kind of like, damn, what the fuck I supposed to do? So, kind of, was kind of stuck in between, having fun and just kind of chilling. So, but like I said, everybody made it to the destination safely, and we had a good time, so on and so forth. So here's the funny part about this ride though, right? So it was a couple times where the newbies, and I'm gonna just keep saying the newbies. If you was on a ride, you knew who they were, right? They was just like, uh, can they slow down? Like, hell to the no, they ain't. They ain't slowing down. They this is not that kind of ride. And for the most part, again, I shout out to Alana. She had a 650. She a newbie. Maya is a newbie. She had a 650, and Whitney had a 600. But Whitney can ride, so um, I would kind of say two and a possible for the most part. Because again, we were going 100 plus, and they was just like they was just trying to keep up. And I tell you one thing: when you doing this type of riding, you got to be in shape for this shit. Like people underestimate what the kind of shape you need to be in going basically 100 plus. That wind hitting you like crazy. It's like you'll feel like your body getting fatigued, and especially if it's hot. Or if you got like a tracksuit on and it's hot out, like bruh, like some people can catch a heat stroke out this bitch. But it was a nice day though, so for the most part, everybody was good. We didn't really run into no traffic to the uh to the destination. So for the most part, we everybody had a good time. And people was just rocking out. Now, the way I'm gonna narrate this kind of video, right, is crazy because it's some footage I didn't get where they always say keep the cameras rolling and all, but when you in the back, it's kind of like, what am I capturing? A bunch of traffic behind me and some in front of me, like. So I was cutting my camera on and off just to kind of conserve my battery, so it wouldn't die out. Because again, this was still like a 2.5 hour ride to the spot and about a 2.5 to 3 hours back. So I was trying to just save my battery as much as I can and kind of pick and choose my spots when to cut it on and off. And in this case, uh, it to the spot we were encounter. It was some fun stuff that was happening. The first one I encountered when we was going over the Bay Bridge, right? You had Chris and Smoke who decided they wanted to do a nice little pull. I guess Chris kind of egged Smoke on and like, all right, come on, you know, drop it to second gear. We'll do a roll race. And Chris fucked around and found out real quick that his 600 ain't fucking with no booster on no straightaway. So, but this is the funny part, right? So Smoke and Chris, as we were getting off the Bay Bridge, the pool was no more than about, I say, 20 to 25 yards, right? So I'm like, this it ain't even enough room. But they still decided to do it. And like I said, Smoke pretty much peeled off on them. But it was so quick that Smoke kind of went into skid mode because he had to brake so hard because whoever was in front of him didn't know they were racing. And when Smoke, kind of open throttled his bike, the shit was over in like 2 seconds. And Smoke was like, "Oh shit, I got to brake," because he would have tailed in somebody, and we don't want that. Especially we damn near only 10 minutes into the ride, so we ain't want to have that kind of situation going on. But Chris was like, "Bruh, uh, that ain't going that was a dumb move, Chris." Now, Chris, when you on twisties, you probably burn Smoke on twisties because again, your bike is more track ready for that, whereas a booster is more like a drag strip, a straightaway. So I'm sure Smoke can kind of fuck with you on a twisty, but you can't fuck with Smoke on a straightaway. So it kind of offsets just depending on when the type of riding that you're doing. And again, both of them are skilled and seasoned riders. So I mean, at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. It's just depending on what kind of riding you doing, what kind of racing you doing. So I thought that was just funny, right? And then the second thing that happened when we were heading out to Dewey Beach, well, one, we made two pit stops, right? So the first one, once we crossed the bridge, so I think when we crossed into Delaware, I think we stopped at a Wawa, just to gas up, rest stop, pit stop type thing where, if you wanted to get something to drink, take a piss, take a shit if you had to, or, gas up. We did that. But when we were leaving that spot, and this is what I didn't get on camera because that shit was so damn funny and that shit was damn near a death wish, was fucking NK from Young Guns. So we were coming up on a light, right, to make a left that Ty was taking us through these back roads, right? But if you ever been in like Delaware, like it's a highway type of long road, and even though we were at a light, it seemed like this light was not changing, and it seemed like the traffic was just flowing steadily on the opposite side where we was trying to make a left, right? And it was kind of heavy traffic. I'm talking semi trucks, SUVs, cars, uh, minivans, and all that good shit, right? So crazy ass NK decided that, all right, listen, this light gonna take forever, and we just sitting at this light, burning the fuck up, and we don't know when it was gonna change. So NK decided, all right, he gonna be the block captain. So he started inching out in front of traffic to stop traffic, right, with his bike. Now, mind you, a semi truck coming down the road, fucking SUVs, cars, minivans, all coming down the road at least 60. But NK decided, all right, I'm gonna stick my bike out there and stop traffic, which he did. And a couple people, commuters, slammed on their brakes, like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And we were just kind of like, "That motherfucker crazy." I don't think I would have did that. But he stopped traffic. I'm sure whoever was in a cars was cussing him the fuck out because they was like, "This asshole just stopped traffic," and like I said, traffic was flowing like consistently, and that light was not changing. So he just poked his bike out and was just like, "Fuck it, we doing what we do." And as the block captain, more more power to you, good brother. You got that shit because you actually did it twice. So first one, all right. So 20 bikes going past, and he was just like, "It is what it is," but we got through it. Uh, and I'm grateful for the shit because niggas was burning the fuck up just sitting at a light. And so we just started going, through some back roads that Todd took us through, and it was a couple back roads where they were out of mind, out of sight. Cause I was like, where the fuck are they? And again, I'm in the back, so and I'm with the newbies. So yeah, we all had a GPS, but if you use your GPS is going to take you, a regular route where Ty was taking us through back roads to it. So everybody would have got lost if you was just following your GPS. But they hit some country back roads, like I'm talking like Amish farmland type back roads, shit on the road from the horses type back roads. Um, and they were getting it. And I was just like, fuck, that's where I wanted to have some fun. Now again, certain like some twisties I could do a little bit on my booster, but again, uh if you got like a thousand or a 750 or 650, that's more set up for twisty roads more than a Busa is, especially um if you're a heavier guy, that's one. Your bike is lowered is two. So you ain't leaning as much as you think you is before you bang the fuck out. So they were on these back roads, and again, good thing Ty had a rule. Every stop sign and stoplight, we stop and wait for the rest of the pack to come. So good thing for that, because it got to a point we was like, where the fuck are they at? I don't know. So I was like, yo, these niggas is moving. And Bobby up there like, shit, nigga, I don't know where the fuck they at. And the newbies like, well, listen, we just riding our ride. They listening to they fucking music in their helmet, so they got no care in the world. But us on the backhand, me as the tail end, just like, well, shit. I don't know these back roads. I don't know I gotta damn near use my GPS. But luckily, I think it was Smoke who kind of seen us lagging all the way behind, so he slowed up a little bit and was like, "All right, come this way," and that's how we kind of got back to the pack. So all in all, again, we all stayed together, and it was a successful ride to Dewey Beach, to this waterfront property restaurant. Um, I forgot the name of it. Listen. Oh, here's another thing. I mean, some people are picky about food. I'm not. Listen, if I'm fucking hungry, I'm hungry. Listen, certainly, I look at it like this: certain things you can't fuck up. Like you can't fuck up chicken wings. You can't fuck up, French fries. So, like for some of the people who didn't like the food, listen, it is what it is, but you kind of got to understand, your environment and your audience and what you're dealing with when you come to certain spots. Like, listen, I'm not expecting no Roof Chris out this bitch. I'm or PF Chang's. This is more, like fast food to me. It's just quick, and plus, I don't like to, eat heavy on my bike because then my stomach hurt or I got the itis or you want to go to the bathroom, heading back. So I try to eat light anyway. So you can't fuck up a salad, really. Like, so that's kind of how I was carrying it. I was just like, listen, I'm gonna eat a little bit, and then once we heading back home, listen, I'll eat when I get home. But other than that, um, we had fun though. I mean, and we got to chop it up. Some people I haven't met before that was on that ride, that they were all cool. And it's just like whenever you sometimes I look at it like this. It's not about the ride sometimes. It's just about the people that you're with. And for the most part, I have a good time with the people I'm with. So whether you're a newbie or you are a seasoned skilled rider, it's more about the people than it is the ride sometimes. Don't get me wrong, I'll enjoy the ride and the ride is fun, but just being with good people who who actually rides is always a good combination. So that's kind of how I carry it. I mean, you could be a asshole and a good rider, and sometimes you look at it like, oh man, this motherfucker. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those type things. But this whole group ride that we were on, everybody was cool. Um, Everything went well. And again, when we just chopping it up, everybody just talking about life in general, or sports, or bikes or something like that. So we all have that common what's the word? That we all had a common characteristics that we talk about, when we just out and about. So that's just what it come down to. And again, we all had a good time. We enjoyed ourselves. And as you can see, Dewey Beach is kind of nice. I mean, for the most part, we have bikes pulling up, and it was $5 to get to the parking lot. So if you had cash and that's all they was accepting was cash, we was like, all right, well, whoever got cash, go ahead and pay. If you don't, there was one of those parking meters that you could swipe your card, get you get a ticket to put on your bike and shit like that. But once he started letting people in who didn't have cash on hand, we was like, oh, that's free parking to me, because that's how I looked at it. That's fucking free parking to me. So for the ones that paid, thank you, appreciate it. But ain't no way in hell they was towing like 20 bikes anyway, without us knowing. So at the end of the day, I got the park for free. So that's what it came down to, and that's just what it was. And again, it was fun. Shout outs to everybody that came out to Dewey Beach via the Backroads through Delaware, hosted by Logic and Ty. And hey, I had a good fucking time. And again, you got to be in shape for this shit, because I know when I got home, I was like, fuck. I was knocked the fuck out as soon as I got out the shower. I was like, yeah, bruh, that shit take a toll on you. So, but wait till y'all see on the way back home though. On the way back home, oh, it was some action going on. That shit was funny. And again, I didn't get the shit on camera because I people left separately, and like I said, I was just trying to save some of my battery life just to make sure I can capture what I needed to capture when I could capture it. So that's just what it comes down to. But on the way home was an event, I would say. Now, certain things I'm gonna catch, certain things I can't. So I'm gonna just narrate you through the shit so you can get the gist of what happened. And anybody that's in the group chat, they know what happened. And if you were there, you know what happened. So again, it was definitely good thing we was all together. So on the way back home, right? We People kind of split up. So, me with the IKEA group and the newbies, we left separately because Ty and the rest of the group, we know that they were going to be pushing it going back home. So we was like, listen, bro, we might as well just leave separately because they gonna catch up to us anyway at the end of the day, because we kind of riding at pace for the most part home, and they gonna be getting it. So at the end of the day, it's like if we leave now, they'll probably catch up to us anyway. So with that being said, as we were leaving, we were just like, all right, let's go gas up one last time. So as we going through, I guess, Dewey Beach, the town city, we were going to all gas up, and then everybody going about their way, right? So while we on these mean streets of Dewey Beach, we were, doing what we do. So y'all got to remember, it's Labor Day weekend. So people heading back home. So traffic was starting to get a little crazy. So when I see traffic being on a bike, I'm like, all right, splitting cars and people riding the shoulder and all that good stuff. Just, so they don't be just sitting in traffic and burning the fuck up. So that's what we decided to do. And again, You got to understand when you're in a motorcycle group, you know, you get all the looks from everywhere, and that includes the cops. So I'm sure they seen a big group coming down the road, but at the end of the day, I'm like, are they going? I don't think they pulling out on people because are you gonna catch them? Probably not. So at the end of the day, I think they was just like, just let them go. It looked like they probably going home anyway. So we decided, all right, it's time to start getting it. I'm anxious to get back home. We had a good day, but you know when you on a mission, like, all right, we out here. We got a 3 hour ride back home, and it could have been even longer if you was sitting in traffic. But that's what happened. So after we gassed up, we were just on our way. At least my group was the IKEA group, and like I said, Ty and them, they were just like, yeah, we gonna be getting it. So we'll see y'all when we see y'all, and we probably see y'all at least at the Bay Bridge or something like that. But all right, so this is what happened. And again, I didn't get this on tape because I figured since we left separately, you know, it was just gonna be a small group, and I'm again in the back because I got newbies with me. Um when Ty and NK and all of them, that the main core group, when they caught us, we were riding through this little town, and I don't even know if we was even in Dewey Beach. I don't even know the fuck where we was at. But I guess NK was got distracted. So you know when people take the motorcycle test and all that, and you do the written test, and you got this thing called target fixation. Let's just say word on the street was NK had target fixation on something and wasn't paying attention and had a fender bender with Ty. Let's just call it that. Let's just call it that. And again, you had to be there to know. But what had happened was, uh, as we were coming down the road, it was a car in front of us, and it was a side street where I guess you can make this right turn, and not paying attention, as the car was in the in the middle of the street, decided to make this turn on this side street while bikes is coming up, and I guess Ty didn't know that that was going to happen, so he slammed on his brakes as the car was cutting him off, and NK right behind him was looking at something or someone, and at that split second when Ty slammed on his brakes, NK just ran it, tailed end him, put him up, pretty much, and kind of flipped over the bike, kind of fell off, hurt his ankle, and his bike looked like it was wrecked. Um, Now, can he save it? I don't know. I I'll let I'll let him tell that story. But from the way it looked, it just looked like it wasn't worth fixing. Maybe it was time to get a new bike. And I'm sure he probably got a backup bike anyway. But the thing was, good thing we were in, I guess, a somewhat black neighborhood, because anybody that ride these back roads, it ain't nothing but Trump country, back there. So just so happened it was uh, a couple black folks that seen it, and one dude was kind of cool. He's like, "Listen, bro, this is what's gonna have to happen. You can leave your bike at his aunt or his crib. They exchange, contact information, and you can truck and trailer it, back home. Once you get home." So I think NK backpacked with somebody that brought him home, and then NK got his truck and trailer and came back and got his bike. So that's pretty much how that happened. And again, you had to be there to know. And then the second thing that happened was one of my newbies got pulled over as we were approaching the Bay Bridge because she decided she wanted to ride on the shoulder to avoid traffic while everybody was splitting cars. And a bike cop, state trooper, seen it and cut her off and pulled her over. So, with that being said, that was another spectacle, but she was with me. Uh pretty much I talked to the officer and she let him he let her off with a warning, and that was it. But that was her first time being pulled over. So I was like, you know what? You just earned your stripes. You're an official biker now. You got pulled over by the cops. I think she shedded a little tear, you know. And cops are more lenient with women than they are with men. So I mean, she had that in her favor. But the fact she was with me, that's why she got a warning. I mean, if she was by herself, who knows? I don't know. But the good thing was, again, my golden rule is, listen, we ride our ride, we have our fun, and then we go to fuck home. And that's the goal, is to make it back home, because again, people got families, people that rely on them, all that good stuff. So that's how we was carrying it, and I was going to make sure that she got back home, and she did, safe and sound, all that good stuff with her husband and all that. So we good to go. Again, it you had to be there to really know what went on, but it was fun. But I hope everybody had a good time. And NK, hope your bike good, or if you get it back up and running, I'm sure we'll all know about it in the group chat. And all the newbies, I mean, listen, the whole goal was to make it home. Y'all made it home. So again, y'all got experience of what is the different type of riding versus just the IKEA riding. So it's levels to this shit, y'all. So that's just what it came down to. And as you can see, it was definitely levels to, you know, how certain groups ride versus how other groups ride. And we had a good time. So that's it. I hope y'all enjoy it. Like, subscribe, comment, and yeah, all that stuff. This the bootleg version, bootleg booster version. So peace.